Hello there, V. Thank you so much for choosing me to make this video for you and look at this question for you. Hello there, everybody else. This is a reading for someone that we're calling V today. And right now I'm just clearing the cards to get ready for that reading. If you would like to have a question answered on the internet like this one for the low price of $6, you can find out how to do that at my website. I do also have other types of readings available, more private types, 1 question and 2 question, which are recorded on an audio and sent to you, and then also live readings either on phone or via Skype. And you can find out about those readings on my website as well. I also offer reiki. You can find out about that on my website. I do have discounts for packages there. And I offer addiction relief services for those of you who are wanting to kick some kind of habit. All right, all of that stuff can be done either locally or long distance. I do find that energy work long distance is just as effective as it is locally. Spirit, luckily, is not limited by time or space. Now, services just for people in the local area being Golden, Colorado, Denver, Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, all of that area and surrounding. I do offer house clearing services if you're having problems with an entity or an energy in your house. I'm the girl to call. If you would like to have a psychic party and you would like me to come and read for other people, your guests and yourself at that party, I would be happy to do that. And if you would like to have a psychic party where you and your guests explore your own psychic abilities, I would love to do that as well. All of that information can be found on my website. Check it out. All right, so now we have the cards cleared. Let me take a peek here at our question. I want to read the question while I'm shuffling. My name is V, but let's see. My name is V. I've been madly in love with a lovely yet complicated woman named Polo. Not sure if you needed that information. As a matter of fact, I love to have that information. First names are very important for any questions that you guys send me, by the way. So, even though I have been in other relationships during the time I've known and love her, I still find myself wanting and loving her. She's complicated. She expressed she loves me from time to time, but she has many apprehensions. Recently, we spent the weekend together and everything went great and lovely. Once we got back, things still seem great, but she's back to being complicated. If I say something wrong, she crabs up. Oddly, we never been an actual couple with titles and all, but we always find a way back to each other. She's Cancer, July 22nd. So my question is, by the way, I don't need birthdays, guys. I know enough about astrology to really get myself in trouble, and that is about it. So, like I say, I don't need birthdays. Everything that I need to know will come up in the cards. That's the language that Spirit uses to talk to me. So anyway, her question is, should I continue to love Polo and stay around until she is over insecurities and pain from her past, or just walk away and cut my losses? Okay, let's take a look at this. Should we continue to stick around and wait for Polo to get into a better place, or should she walk away and cut her losses? Stick around. That's funny. Or walk away. You guys always bring big questions. Okay, so to me, the first thing that I'm looking at is I'm looking at what I put down as far as cards about sticking around. All right, so basically, Spirit isn't going to make a decision for you about what you should do generally, but they will give you information to help you make a more informed decision yourself. We have free will, so Spirit doesn't really boss us around, even when we ask them to. And trust me, I have tried to ask them to. So, okay. So if you stick around and wait and hope that things will get better with Ms. Polo, what I have coming up here, Ms. V, is that she is not so much working on letting things go from the past. She's pretty comfortable in the way that she is right now. And I know that doesn't sound like it could be true. There's this line from a song I'm trying to think of. I can't think of it, but let's just get on with this reading. But basically, people can become comfortable in really miserable situations because it's what they're used to and it's what they expect. And it's like having an old pair of tennis shoes and a new pair of tennis shoes. A lot of times we gravitate towards the old pair because it's already cushioned itself to fit our feet, even if maybe it has a hole or two in it. Now, if we have the pair of new tennis shoes, it really hasn't customized itself to us yet, so it may be a little bit more uncomfortable. That's kind of what this is. It's that she's very comfortable in this situation that really isn't a good situation anymore. It's a tired, worn out situation. She's comfortable with her mindset. She's comfortable with how she looks at things. It makes her feel safe to have her defenses up. And I don't see her really bringing her defenses down in any kind of significant way anytime soon, even with you. And so I see you, trying to make the best decision that you can and feeling like you don't have enough information because, we just don't. We don't know what the future is going to hold. If I stick around, will it pay off? Wouldn't it be nice if we all knew that? If I stick around, will it pay off? And I think that's basically what you're asking me here. So we're going to look at this, but this really does acknowledge your situation where you are right now. If I stick around, will it pay off, or am I going to feel like I've just wasted all of this time that I could have been looking for an appropriate partner for myself? What I have coming up, if you stick it out with Ms. Polo, is I see you going from this, wondering, is this even going to work, to expressing yourself, to being very honest and putting the cards on the table with her and just saying, you tell me that you love me. I'm hanging out hoping that you'll get past all your hang-ups, but I don't have any assurance of any of that. I can't be guaranteed that that's going to happen. And I'm feeling a little insecure about what we're doing here at this point. Okay, I see you really putting the cards on the table in that way and just letting her know where you stand, just so that she has the option of making some kind of choice and being able to communicate with you what it is that she actually wants. All right? It's interesting because the next card that I pulled, actually 2 cards came up when I pulled them. And so when 2 cards come out when I'm pulling for 1 card, I put those 2 cards together in the same position. And I say that this is interesting because it really talks about the diabolicalness of how your relationship has been with, you guys getting together and collaborating and doing stuff together like the weekend. You guys, plan that out and cooperated and worked together to have that happen. And yet at the same time, there's no commitment. And the way the card comes up, it talks about going forward, still having these types of things go on that you guys are collaborating on, and yet still having no commitment. I still don't see any commitment coming into play here. And what happens if you stay with her is that this is just a perpetual cycle. And you end up coming back around to the same point where you are now, confused. What should I do? Confused. Okay? So you go through the cycle of being honest, laying things out on the table, giving her a chance to respond. You guys coordinate, you work together, you cooperate, you do things, but still no sign of commitment. You're confused. You put your cards on the table. You guys coordinate, cooperate, work together, but still no commitment. You're confused. This is a cycle that if you stay with her, it's just going to keep running and keep running and keep running until you stop the tape. Okay? So if you stay with her, that's what you have to look forward to. All right? Now, if you cut your losses and go, what do we have going on here? A lot of times when I look at something like this and somebody says, hey, if I cut my losses and move on, what happens? One of the first cards that comes up will say, you're not going to stay gone long. You're going to come back. You don't have that. You don't have that situation saying, if you cut your losses, you're just going to wander back anyway. So I'm actually kind of encouraged to see that. If you cut your losses, you're deciding, okay, I've spent enough time trying to make this work. It's time to move on. All right? So one of the first things that I see is that you begin to really find more happiness in your life and enjoy more happiness in your life. And I don't think that you're going to be alone for that. I feel like you have a lot of people around you who would like to share experiences with you. Now, I'm not saying you're just out there, just dating a lot of people, but you have a support network of people so that it's to the point that you don't have to be lonely. The only way that you would have to be lonely is if you chose to. There are people around there that you're going to be having experiences with, that you're going to be enjoying things with, that you're going to be going with and doing things and learning stuff, and just you're going to be able to enjoy life if you cut this loose. There's also a sense of a lot of pressure being relieved, being pulled away from you if you cut your losses and walk away from this. That's that pressure of the wondering, okay, what's coming next? What's she going to say now? What does she feel like we are now? Should I be loyally waiting for her, or should I be doing something else? All of that's pressure, those things that make you think twice. Even though you mentioned, you've dated other people and things, I think there's the implication here in what you've written to me that even though you've dated other people, you've kind of had in the back of the mind, well, me and Polo may get together later. That kind of blocks things from moving forward with another person because you're kind of trying to keep a door open. And you can't walk through a door with somebody else when you're keeping a door open for somebody from the past. So that's been an inhibitor before. So I see that really, I see the relief of being able to close that door and let yourself move forward coming through here, okay? Also, this relationship has really caused you to lose touch with you. You've been trying so hard to make Miss Polo happy and win her over and make her realize that, you guys are a good couple. You've been basically jumping through all kind of hoops for her, whether she knew she was putting up hoops for you or not. And you've kind of lost touch with who you actually are. And so one of the things that I see coming up, if you were to cut your losses and walk away from this situation with her, is that you get back in touch with yourself again. Okay? And that's really important. That's a very healthy thing to do. The central card that talks about walking away and cutting your losses does tell me that, even though you're getting in touch with yourself again, even though you have a support network around you and you're having experiences with other people, none of that takes away from the fact that this is going to hurt. You had some hopes and dreams tied up around Ms. Polo and the things that you were hoping for in the future. And so letting those go is going to be painful. And I think it's okay to let yourself realize that and to let yourself process through that pain should you decide to do this. Because it will actually, it will be there. It's not like, it wouldn't be an ideal if we could make a decision that we knew was a good decision and then there would be no pain involved. But it just doesn't work like that. It's messy when we're interacting with other people. It's not that clean. It's not like a math problem. It's either right or it's not right. You know, there's not that kind of cleanness about it. So you are going to miss her. This is going to be hard for you. This is going to be hard for her too. This is not going to be easy for you if you cut your losses and walk away. And so I don't want to make it sound like, oh, you know, you're finding yourself and you're spending time with a lot of people, and so life is good and it's bright and it's cheerful, and, you know, it's like the sun never goes down. It's just always happiness. Some days are good, some days are not so good. Okay? And then the next card that comes up really tells me that by cutting your losses and walking away, you find healing. You do heal from that heartache. And I feel like also your self-esteem is healing as well. I think your self-esteem has taken a huge hit in trying to figure out this balancing act to keep everything okay with Polo, to keep her from being all crabby or whatever. So you're healing up by being in situations that are a little bit more relaxed and easygoing, and that's very healing for you, for your self-esteem, for your emotions. It allows you to kind of calm down and allows you to sort of unwind and not be wound so tight trying to make sure everything's perfect. It allows you to relax a little, and that's really important. And then the last card here talks about getting your balance, that you get your balance back again. I love to see this card. This is about the most healthy card I have in this deck, and it talks about having your balance mentally, having your balance emotionally, having your balance physically. This is where everything is lining up all together, working well together with yourself. And, you know, there's not a bunch of inner conflict going on. There's not a bunch of people pleasing going on. This is just all about you find your groove, and you start getting in your groove, and you start taking your life back and enjoying your life. So, like I said, Spirit doesn't tell you what you should do or what you shouldn't do, or at least that's my take on it. But Spirit has given you some really enlightening information here to help you make a good decision, the best decision for yourself. Okay, now having said all of that, I will tell you that sometimes we can know what the best decision is logically in our heads, where our emotions may not match up with that. And so even though we might know what we need to do, our emotions may not let us do that yet. And so I just want to let you know that if you're one of those people, don't beat up on yourself for it. Just allow yourself to know, well, I'm not there yet. I will be eventually, but right now is just not the time. And don't beat up on yourself for not doing, you know, whatever seems the most logical. Okay? All right, so there you go, Ms. B. That's what came up there. I hope you find it absolutely and totally helpful. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by, for hanging out, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I do appreciate all of your support, even for the new format. And everyone have a fantastic day. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.